Hey, ever notice how Spotify seems to pick the perfect song sometimes, right before you hit shuffle again?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Makes you wonder, right? Like, is it reading my mind?
It's that AI magic happening behind the scenes. It's getting good.
It really is. And speaking of AI getting good, today we're diving into where AI is making
Big
waves.
waves.
Huge. We're talking about AI and creativity.
Interesting. Because usually think of AI as all logic and algorithms, but creativity, that's a whole different ballgame.
Totally. And get this, South Africa is leading the charge in AI adoption.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently it's a hotbed for ChatGPT users.
Wild, right.
That is pretty wild.
Yeah. And we have Nikki James to thank for that little tidbit. She's a communication pro who uses these tools all the time. And she wrote this fascinating piece in the Media Online that we're diving into today. I'm interested to hear more about this. What's the article about?
Well, the cool thing about James is she sees both the good and the, well, maybe not bad, but the concerning side of AI.
Okay, so what's the good?
Well, she acknowledges just how efficient it can be. Like, say goodbye to writer's block. AI can help you blast through those tedious tasks we all face.
Oh, 100%. AI is a huge time saver.
Yeah,
But you mentioned a flip side.
yeah. While AI is great at what it does, she brings up some important questions about data privacy and even the possibility of AI replacing jobs in creative fields.
Those are definitely things to think about. So how do we go about using these tools responsibly? I mean, we don't want a robot uprising.
Right. But seriously, it's about finding that balance, and James really seems to think that boils down to adaptation and collaboration. We'll unpack that a bit more later. But the big takeaway is that it's less about AI replacing us and more about AI enhancing the skills we already have.
Working smarter, not harder. I like it.
Exactly. And to work alongside these AI tools, we need to know how to spot them.
Spot them. What do you mean?
Well, James points out these funny little tells, things that pretty much scream, this content is brought to you by ChatGPT.
Okay, now I have to know. What are these tells?
Yet ready for a whole lot of Z's.
Yeah.
Because apparently ChatGPT loves Americanized spelling.
So color instead of color.
You got it.
Hmm.
And just picture a tidal wave of adjectives. 3 seems to be the magic number for ChatGPT. And then there are the buzzwords. Foster, seamless, cutting edge.
Sound like a robot trying to fit in with us creative types.
Hmm.
But do these tells really matter? I mean, it's kind of funny.
It is, but it also reveals something really important. AI, at least for now, relies on patterns and formulas.
Yeah.
It doesn't really understand what makes writing truly sing. It just knows how to mimic it.
So we won't be seeing any robot novelists winning awards anytime soon.
Probably not. And James agrees. Human creativity is still essential because we bring originality and those nuanced, genuine emotions to our work that AI just can't replicate.
So are you saying it's about collaboration?
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance. It's all about finding that balance where AI helps us be even more creative.
Which brings up another question. What happens to creativity when everyone's using the same AI tools?
Right. If we're all using AI trained on the same data, are we all just going to end up sounding the same?
It's definitely something to consider. Remember, AI learns from the data it's fed. It uses that to find patterns, and then uses those patterns to make new content.
Like feeding a massive library of info to a computer and telling it to go wild.
Exactly. But what if that library is full of the same old stuff? You know, the same old formulas and cliches. What happens then?
I see what you mean. It's like too many cooks in the kitchen, too much of the same thing, and everything starts to taste, well, kind of bland.
That's exactly it. That's why we need humans. It's our job to make sure things stay interesting. We think critically, we have different life experiences, and we can break the mold.
So it's not enough to just use AI tools. We have to use them in a way that makes sure things stay creative.
100%. And that means being mindful of the fact that AI can make things very similar. That's something to keep in mind as these tools become more common.
We need to be aware of the potential problems so we can use AI tools the right way.
Exactly. And a big part of that means understanding AI's limits. It can do a lot, but it can't replace human creativity. AI can't understand things the way we do it, can't make those connections with an audience that make creative work really special.
So where do we go from here? How do we move forward with all of this? It's kind of like we're at a fork in the road, right? We have these awesome AI tools that can help us work faster and try new things, but then there's this question hanging over everything.
About whether AI can be truly creative, right?
Yeah. Like, what does it even mean to be creative in a world run by AI?
It's a tough one, that's for sure. But that's kind of what makes it so interesting, don't you think? The important thing is that we don't need to be scared of AI.
Okay, so then How should we be thinking about it?
It's all about perspective. Instead of looking at AI as a threat, we should look at it as a massive opportunity.
An opportunity. How so?
Well, it all starts with understanding. When we understand how AI works, how it can help us, and where it falls short, that's when we can start using it to our advantage.
So it's not about humans versus machines.
Not at all. It's about humans working with machines. It's about finding that balance where AI helps us do more than we ever could on our own.
That makes a lot of sense. But how can we be sure that human creativity doesn't disappear with all this AI?
Now that is the question. I think more than anything, it takes effort. We have to actively work at staying creative. Never stop being curious, never stop trying new things. Don't be afraid to think differently.
So it's all about staying curious, staying engaged, and holding on to the things that make us human. Our experiences, our emotions, how we connect with each other.
Absolutely. We have to remember that how we think about AI really matters. Are we going to think of it as the competition or as a tool to help us evolve?
Well, I know where I stand, and I'm all for using the power of AI while still celebrating what makes us human. And on that note, I want to thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into AI and creativity.
It's been great exploring these ideas with you. Remember, the future is all about finding that balance between human creativity and the power of AI.